Now, over 10 years ago, billionaire real estate developer Stephen Ross, his business partner Ken Himmel, and renowned chef Thomas Keller cooked up a revolutionary concept that elevated the retail restaurant model. With the Time Warner Center here in New York, they've brought together the largest collection of Michelin stars under one roof. Well, today, Ross, Himmel, and Keller are teaming up once again to curate the restaurant collection at Hudson Yards. It's another step in the plan to remake the once industrial Hudson Yards area into one of the greatest shopping and dining districts in the world. So I caught up, as you can see there, with the trio for an interview at Per Se in the Time Warner Center. Have you ever been to that restaurant? Ooh, is it gorgeous? To talk about upping the ante at Hudson Yards.
In 30 years of doing this, meaning putting restaurant collections, if you will, and selecting great chefs and restaurateurs and real estate projects, nothing's ever worked better than the relationship amongst the three of us sitting here. So right away, you say to yourself, no one has more respect in this industry than Thomas. And so if what we really want to do is curate a collection of great chefs and restaurateurs to come into Hudson Yards, that's how we started all this. That's the way to start. And that's what Hudson Yards is going to be all about, which is, it's not Michelin 3-star. We've done all that. This is about very active, high energy, great designed restaurants and multiple cuisines. So when you come to Hudson Yards, there are going to be 12 selections to pick from. Thomas will be leading the group, and we have another major announcement that Thomas and we will make here in probably the next 30 days.
You know, it sounds like you don't want to have a Per Se level, you know, that level type of restaurant at Hudson Yards, but why not? Isn't there a market for that there?
Well, downtown's a little different here than uptown. I think it's perceived that way. I think you know, life has kind of changed a little bit for some people, you know, and, you know, you're getting more of the millennials downtown and the attraction of what you see downtown with the tech and the more casual lifestyle that they have. And I think that this is what Hudson Yards is.
You're basically saying they can't afford it.
No, not at all today. I mean, today, you know, it's like so much more looser atmosphere and environment.
It's more casual.
Totally more casual. You can see just by the appearance when they go to work that you know, life is that way.
So it's going to be a more casual atmosphere. It's going to be geared more towards millennials. Tell me a little bit about how it fits with the whole concept of Hudson Yards and where you're at there.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, Hudson Yards is really taking New York and really what it will be in the 21st century and creating what it will be then. And it's you can see where everything is moving towards. And I think, you know, we're kind of like changing the center of gravity, which today you might call it Rockefeller Center, and I believe it'll be Hudson Yards. You will not want to come to New York City without visiting Hudson Yards.
The three of you are so creative, right? I mean, you know, I'm curious, you know, Chef, I mean, with you, like when you think about, okay, I'm going to do a collection of restaurants at Hudson Yards, like what do you start with? Like what is your creative process?
Yeah, I think really about the diversification of the cuisines. And we want to be able to offer, you know, the individuals that are coming to Hudson Yards a great variety to choose from. But also not just a great variety of cuisines to choose from, but a greater variety of experiences to choose from as well. So whether, you know, it's a quick, simple meal where they can go in a half an hour, or something that's a little more elaborate where they can spend an hour and a half or 2 hours in a dining room, so that they have the opportunity, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, late night, to really be able to enjoy a variety of different experiences.
Ken, walk me through how this whole process started about getting Thomas Keller to think about Hudson Yards. And I mean, was this something that had been planned in the works for years? You had already thought about it for a while. I mean, give me a sense of like the process.
It started probably 12 or 13 years ago when Steve Ross and I had dinner at the French Laundry. And I'll never forget, we were actually, Thomas had to excuse himself because he was in the middle of some phone calls with some of our competitors as they were negotiating for him to come to New York. So it became quite clear we were competing amongst 3 projects, and Thomas had to pick which group which partner he wanted to have and where he wanted to come. Fortunately for us, we got selected, and I mean, that's the beginning of the relationship.
How'd you convince him? How'd you?
The same way that we convinced, and it didn't take much convincing on Hudson Yards. I mean, the inspiration for this project at Columbus Circle, I mean, it was so compelling. I mean, it was really the right thing at the right time, done by all the right people. And so it was a great fit. And we were comfortable with each other. We believed, we could really make it work.
I mean, I think the commonality is that we want to be best in class, no matter what we do. And I think that's one vision we all share.
I just want some basic facts. I mean, when are the restaurants going to open? Like, how's the rollout going to be? Give me a sense of that.
Well, we're looking at fall of 2018 for the restaurants,
boom, like
retail.
Everything opens together.
Kind of like we did here at Time Warner Center when we opened Time Warner Center. Yeah.
Okay. So
well, we have the first office building opening up in 16. In the spring of 16. So therefore, and then it'll be followed by the retail, the residential, hotel, and the tower, the large tower, because it is so much bigger, will open up in the beginning of 19.
Chef owner Thomas Keller has 3 Michelin-starred restaurants under his belt, and he's likely to garner even more accolades with his next restaurant crafted in partnership with Related, the real estate development company behind New York City's Time Warner Center. Steve Ross, of course, the founder of that. And that's where you're going to find Per Se, one of the best and most expensive restaurants in America. Dinner there starts at $310 per person before you even get to the wine. Chef Keller gave me a tour in his kitchen. Explain a little bit, what's going on there, what's going on here.
So over here is our garde-manger area. So what happens over here is they're going to do all of the canapés, which are the little bites that you get at the beginning, all of the salads, and then the cheese, which is one of the final savory courses.
Right.
On this side here, you're going to have hot canapés, so they'll do things like the oysters and pearls, things like the pasta, things like that. Next to him is fish, so they'll do all the fish and seafood preparation. Across from that is all the meat preparation. Next to them is going to be all the vegetables or the entremetier. And of course, this is the pass right here, so all the savory food. Matthew here is our executive sous chef. So Matthew, during the night, will be on that side in a white apron as well, and he'll orchestrate the entire menu. And then over here behind you is pastry.
Oh, pastries. Okay.
Pastry. So that's kind of the different stations throughout the kitchen. Yes, and Matthew's preparing a Dover sole, and you're stuffing it with a mousse of.
It's going to be a garlic mousse.
Garlic mousse. Okay.
Garlic mousse.
Yeah, so that's for tonight's menu. That's the fish course for tonight's menu.
Do you model your kitchens all around about the same? I mean, are they all pretty much?
Well, the French Laundry, which you see here, which is actually our temporary kitchen at the French Laundry right now.
Oh, yeah?
That's not the permanent kitchen. That's the temporary kitchen. Yes, but this kitchen was modeled after the original French Laundry kitchen.
Okay.
So it's certainly a little bigger.
And you keep an eye on the French Laundry kitchen.
Well, what we want to do is have a connection. We don't really have to keep an eye on each other.
Okay.
We want to make sure.
But you want to see.
It's that connection between, it's a cultural connection between the two teams in the restaurants, and understanding and knowing that there's, another team, a whole other 100 people across the country who are focused and committed in the same way that you are. So that cultural kind of connection is very important to us.
Now, one last thing I'm always curious about, because look, you are a world-renowned chef, and people love your restaurants. I'm kind of curious, when you go to another restaurant, what's the first thing you notice, or what's the first thing you look at?
It's really about the staff and how they're holding themselves, right?
Okay.
Their pride in what they're doing, I think, is very important, because it kind of tells a lot about the restaurant, is the pride of the people in the restaurant. And then certainly just, I'm really, a detailed kind of person, so I'm always looking at how the napkins are folded, or how the silver's polished, or how the glasses are shined, things like that. How people,
so that tells
how
you
people dress. Yeah, it's very important.
That tells you how good of an establishment.
Well, it kind of gives you a sense of how the operators are paying attention to the details, because it's always about the details.
And what's your favorite thing to order?
Typically, whatever the chef wants to give me to eat. I'll typically leave it up to them.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.